This is pronouns continued where we have done the detached pronouns, and now we are talking about the attached pronouns, right? So the thing is, there is not much of a difference. It's still pronoun, right? But the only thing is things change a little, right? So let me elaborate on the concept of attached pronouns, right? So in English, you can have different pronouns for the same thing. Let me explain. For example, you can have he, right? You can also have him, and you can also have his, right? So essentially, they're all talking about, uh, you know, sorry, they're all talking about a singular masculine person, right? But if that's the case, then what is the difference between the two? So we use he when we want to say that the noun in whose position we are using the pronoun. So the pronoun stands for an object. Sorry. The pronoun, it stands for a subject. The pronoun stands for a subject. We use him when we want to say that the pronoun is actually showing is actually working as an object, and we use his when we want to say that the pronoun is actually showing a case of possession, possessive case, right? For example, so what is this like? You know, this fundamental is that example, he sang a song. You know, so here the pronoun is doing the verb, right? The pronoun is doing the verb. So the pronoun is the subject. That's when we say he. Him is like, you know, when the pronoun is acted upon. So if you want to think of an object, a sentence, it would be like, uh, you know, something, and gave him, right? So the pronoun is acted upon. The verb of giving is done on the pronoun. And possessive case is very simple, right? You know this. Like possessive case is simply, if you want to give an example, it's simple like his book, right? So we use three different pronouns depending upon whether the pronoun was a subject, an object, or whether it was a case of possession. So in Arabic, we do the same thing, right? So if you go back, the detached pronouns, right? So this is used. I'll write it here. So the detached pronoun is used in the case of when the pronoun is a subject, right? So who is like, so if you see all the examples here, right? like Huwallahu Ahad. So Allah is the subject, of the sentence. So in all these cases, they are the subject. Just do a simple analysis of these examples. So attached pronouns again can be of two types. The pronoun can be attached to another noun, or it can be attached to a verb, right? So it can be attached to an ism or a fi'l. So when the pronoun is attached to a noun, this is the case of possession, right? And and when the pronoun is attached to the verb, this is the case of object. So we have covered the three cases that we were talking about, right? He, him, his. So like subject, object, and possession. So we have the same thing here as well. You know, we have subject, we have object, and we have possession. So in this lesson, lesson number 4, we are doing just this, which is, what are the, we are just showing what are the attached pronouns, and they are here. And then we will talk about in lesson number 5 and 6 what happens when they are attached with nouns and what happens when they are attached with verbs. So yeah, so so this is the table when it is attached, right? We will get to this part, when it is attached to noun and verb, but this is when it is attached. So this is again a table which you need to memorize. It's again third person. It's either masculine or feminine, or in second person masculine or second person feminine, or first person, and again it can be single, dual, or plural. So if you remember, we had huwa huma hum. Here we have hu huma hum, right? So huma and hum, they are the same. Then here huma hunna. Instead of that, we have ha huma hunna. Ha huma hunna. So these two remain the same as in case of attached pronouns, but these changes. And likewise, we had anta, antuma, antum. But instead of that, we have ka, kuma, kum. So remove anta and use ka instead, you know. So we have ka, kuma, kum. And again, we had anti, antuma, antunna. So here we have ki, kuma, kunna. So anta has been removed by ka. And here in singular, in singular, first person singular, we can have two cases. We can either have ya at the as a pronoun, or we can have ni as the pronoun. It depends basically. So it depends on the fact that whether you know if the attached pronoun is attached to a verb, we will use ya. Sorry, if it is attached to a noun. And if the attached pronoun is attached to a verb, we will use ni, right? So simplest example would be like akhun plus e. That's why we say akhi. You know, I don't know if I'm writing it correctly, but akhun, which means brother, plus e gives akhi, which means my brother. You must have seen, people say this so many times, like akhi, akhi, do this, akhi, wallahi, akhi. So yeah, so this is basically what it is. So, you know, like we say Assalamu alaikum. So peace be upon you all. Kum, you know, like and if you, but the grammatically more correct way, if you're talking to a singular person, is Assalamu alaik, you know, or Assalamu alaika. And when you're talking to a girl, you should say Assalamu alaiki in order to be more precise. But the thing is, in general, in Arabic grammar, the masculine gender is considered to be more general. It's supposed to be inclusive of the feminine. So this is an example. So if you're talking about, so here akhun is actually a noun, right? So that's why we are using e. If example, if we were talking about, if we were using attaching the pronoun to a verb. So again, analyze this. Now this should be a case of possession, right? Because it's attached to a noun. And this is possession because it's saying my brother. My brother. So it's possession. Similarly, if we are, attaching the pronoun to a verb, we will, you know, use ni instead of ya. So the another example could be, like khalaqa, khalaqun, or no, not kun. This is not noun. This is khalaqa, which means to create. It's a verb. Khalaqa. If I want to say created me, I will use first person singular. Me, which will give us something like khalaqani. Pardon my language, my Arabic writing, but this is khalaqani. So this is a verb. So that's why we have used me. So khalaqani created me, right? So so again, just think again. Now the pronoun is attached to a verb, so the pronoun should be an object. And if you see here, the pronoun, which is me, is an object because the act of creation has been done on me. So yeah, this is the correct. And if we are talking about in first person dual or plural, we say, na. So like Rabbana, our Lord, you know. So yeah, this is what we have. So yeah, this is the lesson number 4.